All right, let me show you something cool I came across. This really is like a treasure hunt in my own garage, finding some stuff for actually the first time. Hey, Daisy. Get your attention. You're standing up. You're usually laying down in that spot when I show you. People haven't seen you for a while. They're wondering where you are. There you go. Wag that tail. Wag that tail for your fans. We got a little project to do. Bringing back the vlog just for a day right here. Just for a day. Because we got a little reorganization project to show everybody. And by the way, let's update people on all of your toys back here. You got so many toys. It's unbelievable. Look at that. You got more toys than Primetime Junior and Little Miss Primetime did when they were little. Anyway, you're so spoiled. All right, let's get out there and do some work. Look at those eyes. Hey everyone, Dominic the Primetime Treasure Hunter here. I am taking a day off from treasure hunting right here at Primetime Treasure Headquarters because I need to reorganize a lot of this inventory that's right here. This is just one section of the inventory. You can see there's a lot of it there. It goes over to that part as well. There's just a lot of stuff. So I will just take you through the progress as we get through it. And hopefully it will motivate you to do a reorganization project as well. Now, you can see here that there are some gaps there already. That's because I started this project a little bit last week. I moved a bunch of comic book boxes. There are like 4 of them stacked right in front of there. So I moved those out into the shed. I'll probably give you an update on what the shed looks like a little bit later, but I couldn't even see what was down here at all until I cleared those boxes out. So it's one of the things that I say, you have to be able to see it in order to sell it. And so if there's anything that's causing an obstruction, really try to make sure you get that stuff away. Also, stuff that's in boxes, I'm trying to clear things out of boxes, put them in empty containers. You can see there are some things in boxes here right now. So as much as possible, I'm going to try to get some stuff out of there as well. I'll show you if I dig something up that I haven't seen in a long time. I'll show some things like that. And, you know, we'll see how things go. But before we start, the mail just came. And something came in the mail from Farm Girl Scavenger, Noel Griffith. I haven't opened it up yet, so let's open it up on camera. All right, Noel, let's see what you got me here. I'm gonna open this up here. So just open the top of this a little bit. Pull this out. Why do I have a feeling it's something Mountain Dew related? Let's see. Dom, handmade just for you. It took a couple of weeks to source the material for this. I do have more of these available, but each has a unique design. Enjoy. I do hope you like this. Noelle Farm Girl Scavenger. Farm Girl Scavenger is her name on YouTube and also on Instagram. I have a feeling this is a Mountain Dew mask, maybe? That's my guess. Let's see. That is what it is. I was just telling Mrs. Primetime that I needed a Mountain Dew mask. So here we go. She made this just for me. There you go. It says Mountain Dew. Or there you go. Mountain Dew right there. Really cool. We've got the motorcycle guy there on the other side, and it says "Do the Dew" on it. So I love it. In fact, I actually have a Mountain Dew right here. So I'm not paid by them, believe it or not. But I love Mountain Dew, especially over the summertime. Now I got to figure out how to get this thing on because it has like a bungee cord type thing in the back. So let me figure this out. And oh, maybe I could do it right here. Let's see. It's got to be this way. Yeah, you got to be this way. Let's see. See it like that. See how it works. Put that there because you got to have the ear loop. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Mountain Dew right there. Perfect. Perfect. Now I could torture Mrs. Primetime with this, walk around the house with this on. There we go. All right, so contact Noel Griffith at Farm Girl Scavenger if you do want something just like this. All right, so whenever you take on a big task like this, you have to develop an action plan. It really helps to be able to identify what is the primary source of the problem here. And for me, I think the main problem is that I have too many books scattered on too many different shelves. And not only that, they're different types of books. So there's comic books, trade paperbacks, big, thick hardcover books like this. So they need to be separated, and that's what I'm going to do. And so I'm going to go through these shelves systematically, and then I'll show you the result of that once I'm done with that process. All right, I was thinking of waiting until I was all done, but the treasure hunter in me could not resist because I found something that, I remember exactly where I found that in an estate sale. I couldn't believe it. It was buried on the bottom of an entire stack of books. I'll show you it in a second, but just to show you what I'm doing in terms of process, I'm taking out any big hardcover books and I'm putting them right up here just to keep those organized. Then these are like longer, not magazines, but magazine-like. So these are all song books, and down here, these are a bunch of art books, drawing books. Then these are smaller, like magazine-like books, but a little bit smaller in size. And then short books go down there. And then what I'm doing over here is I'm starting to put all the comic books in from, various collections that I picked up. So I was going through a bunch of comic books here, and on the bottom, I came to this and I said, what is this? This must be a map or something like that. And it is a map, but then I remembered when I saw this, I got this at an estate sale. This is the coolest thing. Look how old this is. It's a US zone of Germany map. I'm gonna open it up and show it to you. This was a Trooper's Road map, super cool. Let me show it to you. So there it is, all opened up. Just amazing to hold a piece of history like that, in my hands. It's just so neat. You wonder, was this actually used by somebody, in a war? Just so cool. So I'm gonna actually make sure I keep this separate so I get this listed soon. It's been sitting around too long and I know someone's gonna want it. So awesome piece. All right, well, Daisy said no choice. We've got to list it now. So I said, while I have it out, there's no better time like the present. I snapped some pictures, and this is going to be priority to get listed now. All right, so I put this in a bag and a board just to keep it safe and protected for now. And right here, by the way, this is a Mrs. Primetime project. She actually made a custom made framing board on the back of this, and now she's drying it in the glue. So she did this with the kids. I helped out a little bit with it, but they did the majority of it so we could hang that up downstairs. But over here and over here are some things from the garage that I pulled out that I'm just going to give priority to list. This, because it's just so big, you might remember me getting this at an estate sale. I was holding on to it for a while because there's supposed to be a magnifying glass that goes inside of here. But as you can see, it's missing, but it'll still sell without the magnifying glass. So anyway, then there's some old detective magazines that I found. I love these things. Super old, so I'm gonna make sure these get priority, and I'm gonna list these. Some of them will probably go up tonight, and some of them will go up tomorrow. Remember this that I just found? So I gotta get that one up, and then there's this one as well. So that's my priority things. Just another way to knock some stuff out off of those shelves. All right, well, I couldn't resist. I found this out on the shelf and I said, you know what, this is just a couple of quick photographs and I get this listed lickety split. It kind of at first glance reminds you of the Seven Dwarfs, but there's not seven of them. They're dwarfs, but it's cool. Anyone who likes fantasy stuff, I mean, this is clearly vintage. It's real wood, it's painted, really neat piece. So this is gonna go up as well. All right, now back to the bookshelf. Another good example of why I like to get general merchandise out of boxes that I can't see what's in them. The only exception to that, by the way, are comic book boxes, because that's traditionally the way you store comic books, and I'm just very used to that. And it's really the only way you can store those. You can't just keep those loose. You have to keep those in a box. But over here, if you look inside, I didn't even realize this, but this is that entire box of stuff that I got from the Magician's House and the Clown's House. Remember this Dark Shadows book? I mean, and there's many of them here. Like, I've got to get this stuff listed. This is crazy. I totally forgot about this being in there. That's amazing. You know, here's another Dark Shadows book right here. You know, here's another one. Look at this, Dark Shadows Tribute. So cool, so cool. I have got to make these a priority to get listed. So I'm gonna pull these out, get these listed hopefully this weekend. And the rest of this stuff here, I'm just gonna move it into the shed with the other magic stuff. So that's a good opportunity for me to bring you back to Primetime Treasure Shed quarters and show you what it looks like in there now. All right, everyone, so it has been a while since I have taken you into Primetime Treasure Shed quarters. I haven't been in here since the last time I did a vlog post. So let me show you some of the things that have changed. Right over here, I put some additional comic book boxes. Those were the ones that were blocking those bottom shelves that I showed you. And so there's just some other stuff that I've added. This is where I'm putting some of the blankets for now. So we've got a space for that. This is a spot for woodenware. All this stuff was on those shelves that I showed you before. So getting everything out in the open and putting them in themes, that really helps. Now, over here, these are 2 boxes of stuff from the Magician and Clown's house. This is something that I just put on top of here. Remember, these are all the magic books. So these just came from the garage area. So did this one, and so did this one. And then these are some of the VHS tapes that I added into here. Now, on the bottom of this box that I took out of the garage, there were these baseball cards. Now, although they technically came from the Magician's house, I'm not going to keep them here. I have a separate section where I keep sports cards, so I'm going to move those over to that area. And just in case you want to just see any additional updates, you know, this is just how things are looking here. I have a section just for pins, by the way. So for those of you who like pins, this was also on the shelf in the garage. You can see there are tons and tons of pins here. These are the ones that Mrs. Primetime just found, so we just added them here. But you can see this all came from, or most of it came from, an estate clear out. So there's just tons of them in here, and they are allotted together by theme. We took them all out. We got holiday ones with holiday ones, cartoon ones with cartoon ones. This one looks like state ones, and regional ones, and sports ones are over here. So so many cool things. Anyway, so now we're gonna head back into the garage and continue working. All right, now let me show you another reason why it's good to go through all of this disorganization, because it helps find some pieces that might go together that will increase the value of your items. So for example, I found this book in one section, and then I remembered seeing another one of those in a separate section. So I went over to it. It's like playing a game of memory. And here we go. So now I've got the collector's edition one and the regular edition one. So now I'm going to make sure those stay together and get those listed as well. All right, now let me show you another cool thing that I just found. 2 vintage Mad magazines. So guess where these are going to go? They're going to go in my vintage Mad magazine lot. So just adds value to that collection. So I'm excited. The more you do this, the more organized that you feel, the less stressed that you feel. All right, now one box that's going to be real easy to get rid of is this one here. This is a box that we just put together from quarantine time that we meant to donate, and it's just been sitting here. So we're just going to pull this one out and look through it again, just make sure there's nothing that we want to keep, and then bring that one over to donate at the thrift store. All right, let me show you something cool I came across. This really is like a treasure hunt in my own garage, finding some stuff for actually the first time. So this stack over here is of the horse and pony magazines. You may remember me sourcing those. Some of them I sold off, and sometimes I found some horse photos and stuff that I sold. But over here is like a stack that was up top, and there were some folders and manila envelopes, and I just cracked one of them open, actually the first one. And look what I found in here. This is an advertisement from 1967 to come out to this Wall Hill Downs Raceway in Indiana. And when you go through it, you find some really cool stuff, like an official entry blank, and there's actually several of them there, which is really cool. a Ladies' Day advertisement, so that's really cool. A Children's Day one. You could sell these as a lot, or you might even be able to sell some of them separately. It depends. And you know, here's even some mail away information for the place. Like, this is really cool. This is like an old pamphlet. Believe it or not, these types of paper items could sell really well. People pass this stuff up a lot. Like, here's 1967 racing dates. Like, that stuff is super cool. Now, some people might look at that and say, that's really boring, but there's people out there that will pay big money for things like that. So be on the lookout for some of that stuff. I'm gonna dig through this little pile here and just have a little fun for now, and then I'll turn the camera back on later. Okay, so I went through the horse stuff, and I'll show you a couple of cool pieces that I picked out. This one right here, I really like this, an old horse racing program from Holiday Downs from the early 1970s. So that's a pretty neat one there. It's got some discoloration on it, but you know, you're just not gonna come across this stuff too often. So even if it has a little discoloration on it, that's okay. I found, now another thing that has some discoloration on it, but it's still a cool piece. I've done very well selling these, even if they're discolored like this. Anything with the harness race jockey in action like that, you know, showing a facial expression like that with the horse, just really cool. The motion on it, I like that. Someone will put that in a frame. So that's a cool example of a trotting pony right there. And then the next thing that I found, I always tell you, anything catalog related, definitely look for. And the image on this alone, if you're into horses, anything equestrian, you are gonna love this. It's a great vintage piece. The year on this, it comes from the 1960s. It's 1967. And if you look inside, you'll see some cool products that were offered, some neat pictures. I'll show you an example right here. So let me just flip it open in the back here. And you know, you could see just some examples of some advertisements for horse products. Just really cool. Like, you know, some of them are drawings, but some of them are old vintage photos like this. People just love looking back, seeing what products were available. It's just really cool. Here's another cool one there. I love these pictures. So really neat on those. Now, I want to show you something else. You remember at the estate sale that I went to this past weekend, I showed you those penguins that I purchased in these glass cases. I told you to look for these glass cases. Well, right over here, you could see I have another one of them over here, and this has a bunch of other animals in it as well. So always be on the lookout for these. And now if I want to, like, I could combine the penguins with these if I want and just make a bigger animal collection. So just build these things up over time, you know, and you could just make all sorts of creative decisions in terms of what you want to do with them. But now I'm going to keep these two together. All right, so now I'm going to give you a little be on the lookout tip here for something that you may come across every once in a while, not too often, but if you ever see this type of character, it's known as a billiken. I've done an entire video just about billiken, so you can look that up. That's how you spell it right there. B-I-double-L. I love saying double and then a letter. So B-I-double-L-I-K-E-N. And as you can see there, it says R-O-J. That refers to the Royal Order of Jesters because the billiken is the official mascot for them. It's a good luck type of character. It's considered a charm doll when it's in in a doll-like format. It's believed to provide good luck. And I've done very well selling billiken items whenever I come across them. So these are two seat cushions. They're identical. And I figured, you know what? It's a nice day out. These have just been sitting in here. So I'm just going to take a couple photographs of them and get them listed. All right, now, FYI, Mrs. Primetime told me that this little section here is a priority for her. She wants me to get rid of this because she really just wants to walk into the house without seeing this stuff all stacked up, especially disorganized like this. So I'm gonna work on this a little bit. Well, so no sooner do I start doing this and I come across some posters. And there's 3 of them here. I'm gonna show you 2 of them that I think are really cool because I'm actually gonna photograph them right now to list them. All right, so these are the 2 posters that I just photographed. This one has special memories for me because this is the cover of a comic that I distinctly remember reading and rereading all the time as a kid. This poster dates back to 1986. So this one here is really neat. This is a 22 by 34 inch one. I love the bright colors on this one. Dates back to 1993. You've got Aquaman, who's one of my favorite characters, Flash. And if you're wondering who this big green guy is here, that's Martian Manhunter. He's pretty popular, so you want to make sure you know his name as well. And if you want a little Daisy update, here she is hanging out down here for her summer nap. She's not too interested in comic book characters, so she's like, could you bring in something a little bit cooler? So there you go. Anyway, let's get back out to the garage. All right, so I'm almost done cleaning off this section here, but I wanted to show you something because I love finding stuff that goes back to the 1930s, especially if it's a calendar that's still intact. This is really neat in terms of old advertising for this life insurance company. If you're from Massachusetts, this is something that you might want to pick up, but really cool. You could see there all the months are there for 1934. And then this is cool if you're a Michigan fan. I don't know if Flippin' Particles is watching this, Dee, but she's in Michigan. I don't know if she is into Michigan football stuff and old memorabilia, but this is pretty neat. Michigan versus Yale game. This is an application to get a ticket. And there's a bunch of the applications in here. That's from 1938. How cool is that? And then some old Fish and Game syllabi from 1936. So that's just some of the stuff that I found here. You can see there's a war ration books and stuff with the stamps in it. Just really, really cool stuff. All right, so I was wondering what was in this box. I just pulled this one out from the side just to show you how old some of these are. I mean, this one goes back to 1951. It's a giant lot of vintage aircraft modeling magazines, and there's so many of them in here. You could just see how deep it goes. It's insane, and it's on both sides. If you want to see the estate sale that I sourced this stuff in, along with a lot of other vintage airplane stuff, including these airplane kits, it's titled, it has the word epic in the title, Epic Estate Sale, and I know it has the word epic in it, so just look that one up on my channel if you want to go back and see that. And there you can see still has the sold sticker on it to Dom, and so I am going to go and put this in the shed just so Mrs. Primetime doesn't have to see it walking into the house anymore. Shh. We have a super secret mission, okay? Now, Mrs. Primetime wants these boxes of comics out of here, right? Okay. I don't want to put them in the shed, though. I already have enough comic books in there. So, what I've got to try to do is sneak in that door. She's in another room right now. I've got to get down deep into Primetime Treasure headquarters and go into the super secret blue room that I rarely ever show. And I'm going to show you for the first time a super secret stash of comic books that I keep there. We're going to try and add this to it without her realizing it right now. So now here's the trade-off. I know it sounds a little sneaky, but at least I'm going to get these out of the way for her. And that is her chief concern right now. So let's see if we can pull this one off. All right, mission accomplished. As you could see, pulled it off. They're not there anymore. And you could also see on the bottom, there's two more boxes. Well, there's actually three, but that one in the middle is not a traditional comic box, so I want to get those out of there. We'll do that later. But I actually have room to get those other two short boxes on the side down there as well. Now, she's moving around here. This is going to be a little more difficult part of the operation, so I'm going to try to get those last two down there. I might regret this. I'm being a little greedy, but it would give me some more shelf space in here. So let's see if we could get this done. All right, so we did it. We pulled it off. This is the area I was talking about. Behind me is my DVD collection. This is my man cave area. I'll even show you another part of it. I'll show you some pictures I've got behind me, some posters hanging on the wall if you want a little bit of an insight. But this is the comic area I was talking about. So just to give you a sense of how much is in this secret stash area. I mean, they go pretty deep here and they go back. I mean, there's thousands of comic books. If you want a sense of what kind of comic books are in here, there's all sorts of cool ones. I mean, we've got Amazing Spider-Man in here. We've got, you know, old Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen. We've got some really neat ones. I mean, it's a mixture. There's some modern ones there. But if you go back some, you'll see some old Sergeant Furies. Let's see here. What else we got? We've got Web of Spider-Man #1. There we've got the first ever Web annual. That's really cool. Lady Death. I love that picture. Look at this. Look at this old Metal Men one, 12-cent. GI Combat. How cool is this? You know, From Beyond the Unknown. Just super neat. Daredevil #88. I mean, there's just so much. Brave and the Bold. Look at that. Old Batman's. I just love this stuff. Look at that. Look at these issues. They're just so cool. Gru, one of my favorite comic book characters of all time. There's the second issue. I mean, I could go on and on. There's just so much stuff. Fred Hembeck, that's a pretty hard to find comic book. The Fantastic Four Roast. So I just love this stuff. And it's just so cool. Okay, so here is a little tour of my man cave. None of the stuff you really see here is for sale, although I might be willing to part with some of the action figures in there. But generally, this stuff here, not for sale. I love the Daleks, Doctor Who, my favorite TV show. As you could tell there, and as you could tell there's a bunch of Star Wars related stuff over here. That Justice League of America pillow, that I absolutely love. I will not sell that. We love Disney stuff, so you can see we've got the Seven Dwarfs there. Doctor Who, big theme. That's Davros. You should definitely know him if you're looking out for Doctor Who stuff. You need to know that name. The Harry Potter thing is more Mrs. Primetime and the kids. I'm not really into that much. But this, on the other hand, is my favorite movie of all time. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I absolutely love it. I've watched it a zillion times. We have a giant at down there. This is my Syracuse man cave sign. Got some more Star Wars stuff here. Shout out to Boba Fett. We've got some signs down here I need to hang up. I'm thinking of putting those into the shed area. Twilight, definitely a Mrs. PT item, but then we both are into The Sopranos, so we love that. The Godfather, we both love that as well. Tom and Jerry, one of my favorite cartoons as a kid, and The Wizard of Oz. So we're doing a lot of decoration here. All right, so the next job is going to be to pull those comics out of that weird shaped box. That's not a comic box. That's just a file box, and put it into this traditional comic box. So it'll be way easier to go through than being in here. All right, mission accomplished. They're all in there. Another shelf cleared out. All right, now right above that, this is the next box I've got to get through. I got to pull this stuff out of this brown box. Do not want in here. I have no clue what's in here except this one that I just pulled out. That sticker stuff just peeled off. I love finding these, by the way. If you ever find these Origin of Marvel comics with Stan Lee on the cover, definitely pick it up. They're guaranteed going to sell. But I just got to see what the heck else is in here. Like I don't even know what this is. What is this? Yep. Fantastic Four. That's going to peel off too. This is a vintage one as well. Let's see. What date do we have on here? It feels 70s, 80s. Let's see. Yeah, see? 79. So, yeah, I'm just going to go through them and try to get them organized into a comic box. See, now look at this. This is why I've got to go through this stuff, because I just pulled this section out of here. This was front facing, had no idea this was in there. And that's a classic cover from 1978 of Mad Magazine Star Wars. So gonna add this to my Mad Magazine collection. So I'm really glad I'm doing this. Okay, now if you're wondering what Mrs. Primetime looks like, here we go, right here. This is my favorite comic book character in the female form, Cave Woman. Love the cheetah bikini there. Gotta give it to Cave Woman. So I'm going through this comic box, and yet again I come across Vampirella. And I've mentioned her before, but just want to mention again because today I just sold a Vampirella poster that actually looks very similar to this. I actually showed it in one of my prior vlogs. I said it was just her head, so it wasn't going to be worth as much. But that one just sold today for 19 bucks. So always look out for Vampirella. She will always sell. All right, so it's all empty. I put some of the comics in here, so we filled this long box up, and some down in the blue part of PTHQ that I just showed you before, that man cave area. And this is some of the stuff I pulled out I want to show you. Be on the lookout for these little books, the illustrated classics. They sell really well in lots. I've shown that in a prior video. These are all illustrated classics, but you also come across these. Sometimes you'll come across them in hardcover form, and I love finding them and picking them up again and just bunching them up together. This is really neat. I didn't even know this stuff was in here. I haven't seen it in ages. If you're a Winnie the Pooh fan, how cool is this? Calendar book from 1974. So if you were born in 1974 and know someone who was, this would make a great gift for someone. And if you're into sports, I mean, there's just so much cool vintage sports stuff here. And these are old price stickers. So, you know, a 1973 Boston Red Sox, 1983, which is cool because they're 10 years apart. So that's interesting. I'm not usually someone who will pick up Sports Illustrated, but how often do you see a Sports Illustrated that's that old? I mean, that's 1954 right there, the 6th weekly issue of it. So that's amazing, that one there. Probably a lot of Yankees fans watching this. This is from 1981 magazine, and we've even got 1967 for the yearbook. Nuts. Now, if you are a Mets fan, there we go. Dwight Gooden, the Doc, right there. Baltimore Oriole fans will like this one here. It actually looks like there's a couple in here. Oh, look at this. So we've got Baltimore Orioles. I didn't even see this one. And then this is the Boston Red Sox one. Let me see what year these date back to here. Let's see if I could figure it out real quick. There we go, 1977. Wow. So that is really cool. Let's see on the Red Sox one here. All right, and this Boston Red Sox one is 1978. So that's really cool. The Syracuse Chiefs, later renamed the Sky Chiefs, and now they're the Mets. They're the AAA affiliate team now for the Mets, but they used to be for the Washington Nationals. And this is old. This is from 1983. This is from 1979, and there's some signatures on here. So I am going to have to check these signatures, see if anyone here made it to the big leagues, and if we've got, you know, anything that might be of some value here. So I'll check this out. There's actually a bunch of them here. So that's 3 of them. An old Toronto Blue Jays one as well. Here's one from the 50th anniversary of the All-Star Game in '83. And for any Cincinnati Reds fans, and there we got Pete Rose on the cover, so that's cool. This is an old one as well. Really cool piece. And as you can see here, this one dates back to 1969. Wow. All right, so now that this cardboard box here is emptied, I'm trying to figure out what to do with it. It's pretty solid. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use it as a nesting box when I go out to estate sales. I normally have one. I've been using a new bigger box this year, and I just haven't found the right one to put inside of it. So I'll show you what I mean. You can see right here, this is my estate sale box, and now I could walk around with this inside of it. And so if I ever run out of room, I could just put this one on top and put more stuff inside of it. So, and then, you know, in addition to that, I also bring plastic bags with me as well if I need those, like just for like an emergency extra. Because sometimes you see at the sales, I pile up like crazy and I just get these big lots and stuff. So So good. So now we've got a use for that, and we are whittling this away bit by bit. Now another box I have been meaning to get to because first of all, there were just comic boxes stacked in front of it for the longest time until I pulled them out. And it's just been inside of this box for a long time, and I didn't remember what was in it until I just peeked in it a moment ago. And if you're a Kiss fan, you would love what's in here because this is all Kiss stuff. Kiss magazines and Kiss books and Kiss DVDs. So I'm going to move these to my DVD section in the shed and then just keep these books separately. So happy to see all this stuff again. Now we're going to get another box emptied. All right, so now I want to show you something about what's in these yellow boxes and what's below it, because it points to a mistake and a problem that you can make sometimes when you're organizing things. And so that's why you have to go through a process like this. Keep in mind, to some extent, you know, if you find yourself in a similar situation to what I have here, it is in some ways inevitable that things like this are going to happen, because if you're purchasing things in big lots, you're not always going to have the time as soon as you come back to process all of it and put everything away in the spots that it should go into, because you have other things that might be going on that day. But the more you can have a system in place that is organized, the greater the chance that you will be able to do that. But let me go over to the shelf here. You can see here I have some photo paper and it's organized in the same spot, which is good. The problem is I have something right below it, and you might think, given the shape, that this is photo paper in there. And in fact, that's what I thought at first until I saw that it said Midway on it, and then that reminded me that that's actually a vintage game. As you can see here, Midway Naval Air battle game there. So if you want to see the cover of it, I'll pull it out here for you. So here you go. Now, honestly, if I'm going to sell this, if I'm going to remind myself to sell it, I really need to keep it outside of this box. I'll still hang on to the box to put it into, but I'm going to keep it outside of it just to give me that extra reminder to list it. Now, if you're wondering what's under here, I do know what's under here. I do remember this. These are all Skylanders. There's tons of them in there. This is the Skylanders game. There's some boxes there, like starter packs, but in here there's just tons of them. They were more popular years ago. Now, in order to sell them and make some money on it, you really have to have them in enormous lots like this. So I'm going to keep this in here for now in the box, because this would be a good way to ship it off in. So, but I've got to get these listed, so it's going to motivate me to do that. And you know, the other thing I'm going to do is make sure I have these Skylanders on top, these boxes, so that's more of a prominent reminder to me what's inside that big box there, and then I need to get these out of here. Okay, now the next thing that I want to do is I want to continue to work on getting things off of that bottom shelf, because it's very difficult to get motivated to list things that are all the way on the bottom. So, you know, obviously there will be times where things need to be stored there, but at the same time, you need to rotate things from time to time just to make sure the stuff just doesn't get stale sitting down there. So I'm going to take that stuff up, get it in a different place, and then I'll show you where it goes. All right, so here's the wood item. This is a wooden toolbox, so it's good. I could put these little steel picks on top of here. What I'm thinking is that I'll see this every time I come out, so that will motivate me to list it. In addition to that, it makes good use of the space, so I don't have big gaps. And so the problem is that, you know, with items like this, if you put them even up top here, it really messes me up. Even like the roller skates over here, you might remember I got those for free. You can't stack anything on top of that. So for now, I'm just gonna move those pieces into the shed, and I really think in this area, I want as much as possible to just, you know, maximizing the shelf space in here. We could do something maybe with books or something that's stackable, or might go across, like have the books up like this and then just go across that way maybe. So I'm not sure. We're not going to get this all done today, but this is a work in progress. All right, now this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about, how this shed is actually a better fit for those items compared to where we just had them over on the shelf, because now it's out here, it's prominently displayed in my glassware and ceramics section, and the roller skates are much better off over there. It's just a much more natural fit. You can see here, this is where I put the magazines, and did I tell you how much of a fan I am of model airplanes? All right, so I'm going to show you one last stack that I went through, and then I'm going to wrap up because it's getting late, I'm getting hungry, and I've got a bunch of other things that I need to do. I've got things that sold that I have to pack, and I want to get some stuff listed. So let me show you. Pure Hustle Podcast mentioned this role-playing game book, Mech Warrior, when they were on the thrift battle. You can see there it says Battle Tech. So always be on the lookout for these. This shows that you can find these things out there. This is another one of these old romance books, True Confessions. So I'm going to get this one listed as well. Rose Newell, who follows me over in the Facebook group and here on YouTube, loves this character. Cry for Dawn right there. And so I'm going to make sure that I get this listed and let her know. And then these are all these vintage adult magazines here. Cavalier, you don't usually see this often, or Cavalier, however you want to pronounce it. Love the cheetah print right there again, rocking the cheetah print. And over here, this cover kind of cracked me up a little bit with the little guy grabbing on the leg right there. So pretty funny. So we got a whole stack of those as well. So pretty much, I think we made good progress today. You could see that's the result of the handiwork, and we've got some room over here now too. Mrs. Primetime is going to be happy. In fact, she is happy. She came, she checked it out. She loved it. I didn't really make much progress over here. I want to get some bins. We're out of bins right now, so I could put this Halloween stuff in it, and that will really help me get into the stuff that's back there. Now, you could see that there's a bunch of comic price guides, and I'm probably just going to blow these out as a lot. So that's what I'm going to do just to get rid of that stack. And so then I'm going to have to organize all those books and trade paperbacks. Right now, I've got things organized better on this shelf. So again, we're making progress. So as usual, if there's anything that you saw in the video that you like, let me know and I will make it a preference to get it listed for you. I'll make it a priority. If there's stuff that you saw me say I'm going to list and you look in my store and it's not there, I just haven't gotten to it. So let me know that and I'll make that a priority to get listed for you as well and send you a message when the link is up and when it's available. So I hope everyone liked the cleaning, the organization, and the treasure hunt. We will come back to this at a later point. Maybe tomorrow, I'm not sure. I might do a little bit of treasure hunting. I'm not sure on that as well, so stay tuned to find out. If you like the video, give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are new. Come to my Facebook group, the Facebook Reselling Resource Center, and follow me on Instagram. That's @prime_time_treasure. I'll see you back at the next video, everyone. Take care. Bye, Daisy. See you at the next video.